This is the Can-am Mav R Max highlights for our premium skid plate with built-in rockers. Now to start off, this project is made up of only 3 pieces. This has a big main panel, and then moving on to the front, we have a front small nose section or front diff section, and then last we have a small engine section. What's great about this is that when you're on the trail, you lose one bolt hole, you're not going to have to worry about multiple pieces just hanging down. One of the big things that we hear about from customers is that they had another skid plate and one bolt hole gets lost, and all of a sudden the whole thing is hanging down or a portion of it's hanging down. You don't get caught on a trail where all of a sudden you're missing a piece of your skid plate and you're worried about it catching on other rocks. Moving on to the front, we have a front rocker section where we follow the edges of the machine, so we have a nice fit, and we eliminate the risk of hitting that sharp edge of the skid plate, trying to bring it down or anything like that. Then we have our side rockers. Now this is a unique thing that we did for this one, where we built in these side rockers into our main panel. And what's nice is that we just kept going and we wrap it around the front of it. This closes off any of the gaps in the front and also makes a really nice side profile view that you can see here. We have a nice, clean side profile. And normally we'd have a brake right here on this line, and it doesn't look terrible, but what can happen is that it can kind of flare out a little bit. This way there's no worry about any type of flaring. You know, if you're really rubbing against rocks and stuff, it's just going to want to do that. In this case, it's going to keep it really nice and tight. In addition, it keeps the lines of the machine, so you don't actually change the way your Mav R is going to look. It keeps it very factory, but also looks very aftermarket for those of you that want to have a bit of an upgrade. Then on the back here, we have an aluminum bash plate that we sandwiched between the engine section and our UHMW. We think that this is super important because starting right here, all the way back to about 6 inches in front of the rear, it's just completely open. There's no braces, there's no steel panels, there's nothing. It's just completely open. And so we thought that really, because this machine is just so heavy, that it really needs some type of extra protection, some more rigidity. You know, plastic is great and it does a lot of good things. UHMW is really key. That's the material that we use here, but it doesn't provide the same amount of rigidity as aluminum or steel. Putting aluminum behind it, it completely corrects it. And adding a nice little bend on this corner here, this actually stiffens up the aluminum. Instead of using steel, which I know many of you probably want steel, we're keeping the machine light, and we're actually helping to keep the engine as cool as possible because it does dissipate heat so well, or reflect heat and dissipate heat so well, because we do not want to keep that engine overly hot and have the steel just absorb all that heat and taking a long time to cool, but also really heating up that engine section. We think this is a great compromise. Check out our pictures online to see more, but also to really see just how vulnerable that transmission area is, because I think that's a really big key to making sure that you protect it, because that is where the majority of your weight is, but also the majority of your money is in the machine.